All right, we're going to play around a little bit with the claw today. When you're programming the claw, it takes a little bit of a skill level. When you're programming just your right or your left motor, you can leave those things running and not have issues. However, with the claw, you have to be a little attentive to speeds and stops because there are going to be some mechanical limitations with the claw that is used for Vex Robotics. Now, what you do see is you see a standard motor that's on the claw. If you go to get a claw out, if there's one on the cart that you're grabbing and it doesn't have a motor on it, don't use that one. It's a little complicated to put a motor on it. It's easier to start with one that's already set up. And you can test its mechanical ability by just manually opening it, showing care in doing that because these plastic pieces aren't the strongest things in the world, and then closing it as well. And so here's where your limitations are. If you program the motor to open the claw, it can only go so far and then it's going to stop. Now, if you overwrite that code, then the circuitry is going to continue to apply an electrical load on the motor, and eventually it's going to wear things out prematurely. So it's important to test things out, identify your limits as you're programming it. The same goes for if you're closing the claw. If you close the claw and you overwrite the program and it continues to close once it's reached its mechanical limit, then again there's going to be an electrical load applied to the motor and it's going to wear things out prematurely. Let's start out by wiring up the claw to our test bed. So you just grab any standard test bed. Now, something you are going to need to use is a little pigtail called a motor controller. Anytime that you're plugging motors into sensor ports 2 through 9, you have to have a motor controller. 1 and 10 do not require a motor controller, but 2 through 9 do. Make sure that the color-coded wires line up when you plug these together. And be careful not to bend off those tiny prongs. And then I'm going to take the other end of the pigtail and I'm going to plug it into motor port 2. Hopefully I get that in there okay. And with anything else that you've wired up, I plug this into motor port 2. The black wire always faces out. So I'm going to kind of set that on top of there to see if we can kind of see that a little bit better. And I have to go into my Robot C program and add this in. So here I've taken one of my testbed programs and I blanked out the lines of code, I blanked out task description, and I blanked out pseudocode. I do have all my motors and sensors with the exception of the claw motor. So I'm going to go to the Robot drop-down menu. I'm going to go to Motors and Sensors Setup. I'm going to go to the Motors tab. And in port 2, it's still a Vex 393 motor, but I'm going to call it claw motor with a capital M. Now I'm going to apply this and hit OK. And what you should see is up here, it says claw motor at the top. It's in blue. Hopefully that's not an issue. We'll figure that out. We'll troubleshoot as the program goes on. So in task description, I'm going to just put something simple. Push a button to open the claw, and then push a button to close the claw. So I'm going to push a button, claw is going to open, I'm going to push the button again, and the claw is going to shut. So in pseudocode, it's Intel bump, start claw motor, and it's going to have to be something pretty slow. So I'll put in parentheses slow for a short time. We're going to have to kind of play around with our times. Then we'll copy this. And I'm going to paste that in the end because basically we want it to do the same thing. Let me hit enter to wrap that around. So pseudocode Intel bump, start claw motor, slow, a slow speed for a short time, and then Intel bump, start claw motor, slow, and let's put in reverse. Now we don't know if we have to use a positive or a negative value to open the claw, but we'll find out here shortly. So let's drag over some code. I'm going to go to natural language, and I'm going to expand Intel. I'm going to expand movement, and I'm going to expand weight. So we're going to do an Intel bump to start the motor. I'm going to do a start motor. We're going to wait a very short time. Stop the same motor. And then we need to repeat the process in reverse. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it down below. So our sensor port is going to be the push button. Delay time, it's not real important, we're going to put 1. Motor port is going to be the claw motor, C-L-A-W, with a capital M. Speed, we're going to do something really slow. We're going to do 27, that's a slow speed, because we don't know how long or how fast. Our wait time is only going to be 1 second. And then we're going to stop the claw motor. So I'm going to copy this claw motor because I need to put that in a few places. I need to put it here. And I need to put it down here. And I could have done this earlier or later. We're going to keep this wait time here at 1 second. We're going to make the speed in reverse negative 27. And the same push button delay time at 1. Let's compile this program. Okay. I have a red X because I forgot to put push button right here. Sensor port is supposed to need push button, just like above. Compile program. We should be good to go. So, let's get our orange cord. And we're going to plug this into our Cortex. Turn things on. Okay, it's running an old program, so we're going to go over here to Robot C, firmware download, and clear that out. Fighting it a little bit. There, it's erasing the program. Some people were asking me today, they said they wanted the same test bed because they wanted their old program. I said, you don't have to use the same test bed every day, and we're rewriting these programs daily. So don't worry about which test bed you get. We rewrite these daily. We're going to go download the robot. Then we're going to click on Start. Go back to our robot here. I'm going to carefully unplug my USB. Now, let's see if I have this going the right way or the wrong way. We'll listen for a noise if it doesn't move. Well, by golly, it went the right way. So I should be able to push a button and close it. Okay. Now, if I wanted to do that again, I just turn off my Cortex and I turn it back on. Opens the claw, closes the claw. So it seems like a speed of 27 is good. It seems like a wait time of 1 is good. Let's look at one other thing. So I'm going to do this one more time. Let's pay attention to how far it opens. Now, notice I can grab it and open it a little bit further. So I could increase the wait time to open that. It kind of depends on what I'm trying to pick up as an object. Now, it's important that we learn how to program the claw motor because we are going to start using the claw bots. They're going to have 2 drive motors, an arm motor, and a claw motor on there. In programming, we do need to identify what our mechanical limitations are so that we're not prematurely wearing the equipment down by overloading them. Well, I hope you've gotten through programming some of your motors and sensors. I hope you're to the point where you're ready to move on with programming the claw. And until next time, good luck.